says in verse 9, it says, "For as yet they knew not the scriptures, that he must rise again from the dead." There was times when Jesus was walking throughout his ministry that he also mentioned to his disciples that his day was coming. He even mentioned of times that he said, "My time is not yet come, but your time is always ready." Knowing that he had a purpose and God had sent him for a purpose. And so his purpose, as it says, was for the rising and the fall of many in Jerusalem. But though he came to send fire, though he brought a sword, he also came to restore the lost sheep. Because Jerusalem at that time was serving one God. But Rome was coming in. And now they were setting up idols inside their temple. Idols of Caesar, later on idols of Nero, which was the Antichrist of that day. So their temple was being defiled again and desecrated as it was back in the days of Sennacherib and all those ancient pagan gods that would come in and destroy the temple. Maccabees was one of the guys that restored the temple on the Feast of Dedications, which is December 25th. Maccabees came in and restored the temple. So that time there was a lot of upset in Jerusalem and they was being defiled. And they lost their power when Babylon came and exiled them. And then the Persians, the Medes, the Greeks, then the Romans. And they was just losing their foothold in their land that God had given them. So Jesus said, "My time is not yet ready, but your time has come." Because he had a purpose. And there was nothing that can interfere with God's plan until his time was ready. And so he told them that I will be delivered unto these bad guys, and I will have to die for the people. We also spoke several weeks ago about the prophecy of his death and how the Pharisees, and they already knew the prophecies of what was taking place. And so in 9 it says, "For as yet they knew not the scriptures." But here we're talking about his disciples. Because his disciples were fishermen and other sorts of variety jobs. They wasn't like the Sadducees or the Pharisees, like politics today that make datelines in Europe that try to understand the timings of things that are taking place in effect today. So being that they was disciples, they was also yet a bit faithless. Even Peter, one of his closest disciples, whom he had placed the rock, his church on, called the Rock, even Peter himself was yet faithless, because he did not even believe, a lot of them, until he came into the midst of the room. And so it was then that they believed. Even Thomas also did not believe until he put his fingers inside his hands. Even John the Baptist became faithless at one time. Because when he was in prison, he sent people to ask him if he was the Christ, or should we wait until another one come? Are you that Christ? Are you the prophet? Or do we yet wait for another? So even there was many faithless people. And so they did not know the scriptures so well yet that he must rise again from the dead.